So before I get into the commentary, I just wanted to acknowledge Miss Kimmy, who's going through a lot right now with cancer, and just let her know that I am praying for her and just lifting up in prayer. And I wish her a speedy recovery. Thank you. Now on to the actual commentary.
Noteworthy item or scene is when the ladies are sitting around at Stormy's place. That's where we left out last time, and they're having dinner and drinks and things of that nature, and they're discussing all these issues, things that and the third, and they're airing all their stuff out. And basically, this particular scene kind of centers around Destiny and Melody. And Destiny states basically, "Hey, you didn't speak to me." Melanie says she did. This, that, and the third. Okay, so back and forth about that. And then basically, Melanie was like, she's hoping people can just be comfortable, like where they are, whether they be angry, like people just accept where they are and let people be where they are, right, and just be comfortable with that. So I actually, this was good because I agree with her on that. I think that as far as them arguing about who said who spoke, I don't really I don't know much to say about that. But what I have to say is about Melanie's comments about sometimes you can't rush people into feeling any other way than what they feel at that time. And I think that is noteworthy, and that's true. I think people should be allowed to feel the way they feel as long as they're not taking their hurt and anger out on other people. I think that was a good statement, and I tend to agree with it. And I thought it was noteworthy. Moving on. Thank you. First noteworthy item or scene is when the
And another thing I just want to add to, there was a scene where Melanie walks out, and she walks out with Kimmy, and I love how Melanie approached her and asked her what was wrong, and of course Melanie didn't bother to tell her what was wrong, but I love how Melanie embraced her and hugged her and let her know she was there. It just showed a love and sisterhood. So I love that scene. I love how she supported her in that moment.
All right, another one noteworthy scene, which started out cute with Marcel. He prepared a little in-house dinner. I believe it was dinner time, but nevertheless, a little meal picnic in the home for him and Tisha. And I thought that was fabulous. It's really cute. It did look really good. And I have never had pickled watermelon. Never heard of it. Sounds good. Have you? Moving on past that, okay. So let's start the conversation now, and they start talking about why he was doing, and he said he was trying to be a better man. Tisha basically said great, that she appreciated it, blah blah blah, and she said, this shows me that you're listening, this, that, and the third. Right, moving on past that, let's get right to the juice, okay? And the juice is he started talking about the doctor they went to see on the retreat, the couples retreat, and he thinks that the doctor is the doc, however you want to put it. He thinks he's biased against men, which I thought was ludicrous. I think that, honestly, I believe that from listening to Marcel, I just think Marcel wouldn't be held to the fire. I don't think he wants to be accountable, and the doctor wants to. He holds the men accountable to what's going on instead of just letting them slide. And I think that's why he doesn't like it, right? I don't think that the doctor's biased, but it's my personal opinion, okay? And I thought it was really funny toward the end of that entire scene, moving toward the end of that scene, Marcel said he would go to counseling if they got a new counselor. Tisha, don't fall for it, Tisha. But listen, so she goes, if that's all I gotta do to get him to counseling, then fine, they'll change counselors, right? And the craziest part about his comment was he goes, well, this will help me think about consider going, all those words before counseling. So he still may or may not go. I hope Tisha don't let him off the hook. But that was noteworthy because it just lets you know how Marcel is really good with his words, and Tisha needs to pay attention, but he will squirm his way out again, and they won't even be going. They won't go, okay? Because he's good with his words. Listen carefully. He's very good with his words. Anyway, moving on. All right, another one noteworthy Oh yeah, one more thing about that scene where they're sitting on the floor. Tisha brings up about the period party that she's throwing for her baby, and I thought it was fabulous. Right, I think period party is an awesome thing to do. That I think that's really cool, especially in 2022. That's awesome. But the look on Marcel's face is great. Okay, if you go back and look, he's looking like, what am I going to do here? Anyway, I just thought it was funny. I thought it was funny. Okay, let's go. So yes, this particular scene, Kimmy's riding in the car with her husband. He's driving her to actually go get the biopsy, so they could test it. And they're just going back and forth, and he's asking questions. I do like how he's asking her about it and how it works. And Kimmy is so brave because Kimmy's being positive and talking about how the flow of care is going for her. And she's just being very, very positive, which I thought was really, really noteworthy there. And even in all of that, he asked her if she was scared or whatever. And I just like the way he comforted her, held her hand. And even she came back and said that she felt that Jesus will always take care of her. And I love that. I love that about Kimmy. So basically I'm saying I love her faith. And I thought that was awesome. That's great. And then to top it all off, top this scene all off, that really made me happy inside and was when he prayed for her and prayed over her. That did something for me. I love that. I love that. That is a blessing, and it was really good to see a man pray over his wife. It was a lovely, lovely gesture, prayer. Absolutely. So here we are in the last scene that I thought was noteworthy. Now there were some scenes in between, but I chose not to pick those because, yeah. Anyway, moving on. The one that I want to discuss is the very one of the most significant ones is that when Kimmy and her husband go to they show up at the period party where Tisha is hosting for her daughter. Okay. And which, by the way, the period party was really cute, very awesome, and I thought that was outstanding the way they had it set up. They talked about, they discussed all aspects of the period, the mind, the body, and the soul, as in nutrition, all of that. You know what I mean? So I thought that was great. Okay, so anyway, basically, Kimmy's husband calls Tisha outside, and she's like, "You're not supposed to be here. You're a guy, right? You're not supposed to be here." And she was concerned, thinking it was her husband. There was something about Marceau, but it wasn't. Anyway, Kimmy's standing there, and Kimmy tells her that she came back and she has breast cancer. Basically, excuse me, not breast cancer, but cancer. She used the words cancer. Excuse me. And of course, Tisha was obviously reached over and comforted her, and first she just said she had bad news, and then she hugged her, and then she confirmed she had cancer, and then of course Tisha hugged her again and cried, which is very natural. And again, I just I think it's so awesome for Kimmy to she's brave. That says a lot, right? To speak in front of the whole world and share her journey with us she's very brave for that, and I appreciate that. And that was a lot, and I like how Kimmy's so sweet, because Kimmy is so giving. In the midst of all her stuff, Kimmy's always giving. That's what I noticed about her, thinking about other people. She brought Tisha's little girl a little coin bag, obviously for her period. But it was just the fact that she was still thinking about other people. And that in itself, that does something for me. Even in the midst of her middle of her pain, and she needs something. She needs, to be loved on, which I thought, I'm so happy that Tisha was there for her. But anyway, that was one of the best scenes ever. I love how all of the ladies that were aware of it, I love how they embraced her and loved on her through this time, specifically Tisha. Okay, because she clearly thought it was important to tell Tisha face to face, which I thought was sweet, and it does show how they are how close, they're really close, right? They're closer than I think that people think they are. People think they're probably as close as there, but they are, because she took the time to go tell her in person. That's huge, right? And she didn't tell everybody. She told Tisha, which I thought was so sweet. But anyway, that's the gist of the entire episode. It was really good. It was very touching, and it showed a lot of just a lot of heart, right? A lot of loving, and a lot of faith, all of that. And so the biggest two things I got out of this particular episode were faith and love, right? Faith and love is what I got out of these two. Anyway, that's all I have for you. I just wanted to share my comments and opinions and about this episode. Again, it was very touching. It was really good. Check it out. Just so you know, as I always say, we can't change anyone else, but we can change ourselves. Focus on the things that you can control and none of the things that you can't. I'll be back with another one. Thank you. Bye.